people literally can't help themselves but to look at their phone while they're waiting in line. And it's like 90+% of people, they can't stop themselves. And, I've just never really been a big fan of this whole phone culture and what it's turned into in terms of hanging out with people. Everybody's on their phones all the time. And I just want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, a buddy of mine just said he got text neck. And text neck is some tightening of the muscles and some vertebrae issues you can get from the constant being down, looking down. I think that it definitely makes us dumber over time because we're not, our heads aren't up here. We're not as alert and aware. So our awareness is in time could be affected. I was sitting at a table or something the other day, and some girl said that kids are being born with like indentations in their fingers from where their parents like always holding their cell phone. You know, like their pinky finger has like an indent on it from where the cell phone rests on it. And I thought that that girl was out of her fucking mind. But it did make me start to think how many things could be genetic. Like how many, based on us being addicted to our phones. And I'm going to say addicted because the one thing that I have withdrawals from is my phone. If I can't find my phone, I get, you can feel it in your body when you can't find it. And that's withdrawals. That's not like, oh, I just can't find my phone. That's a real thing. You know, when you can't leave home without it, when you can't go, like that's addiction. And it's interesting how it's okay to be addicted to our phone, but it's not okay to be, like addiction's usually bad. But with our phones, it's like we accept it. Like it's okay. Like it's a means to, like it's a means to something. So it's a good question. I worry about it too. And I don't know what the answers are. I don't know if at some point do we start to, lose like our feeling of like peripheral awareness because we're so right here looking at a screen. That would make sense to me. Because if our old screen was our eyes looking out, just the world in front of us, and our new screen is just this little world in our hands, then you would think that our ability to interpret and awareness would manifest or would adjust to adapt to this new screen over time. So yeah, I'm curious. But how long does that kind of stuff take? For a human to genetically adjust, like through like generation to generation, I have no idea. But it makes me scared for sure. Meeting people is old fashioned. If you, look, we go to the fist bump now. I thought about this the other day. Like I always used to scrapbook, bro. I'll be real about that shit. I was the only dude you knew probably in, when I was a freshman in college, I was doing steroids and scrapbooking. You know what I'm saying, man? I was out in both games. And if I tell people, oh, I used to scrapbook, people were like, look at this motherfucker, look at this. What's that? Look at this boy coming in a little bit lavender. He coming in a little bit lavender. But the truth is, Cat Daddy, okay, you're on Instagram now, aren't you? Well, all of a sudden, everybody a scrapbooker. Because that's all Instagram is scrapbooking. How many everybody's a scrapbooker now? So maybe I was progressive, if I think about it like that. Maybe I was early to the game. But it's very scary, man. It's very scary to think what's going to happen. Because I know that I'm addicted. I deal with addiction in other parts of my life or, have chosen to look at that. But I notice it with my phone. I notice it. That's a real thing. How do we beat it? Do we beat it? There's no going back. It's like we're not going to go back to a time where we don't use our phones, I don't think. I don't think at all. Now, do we start to monitor it if there become serious health risks? Then that could be something that happens. We're really in an experimental time because we've never had, we're kind of the first generation. At my age, I'm kind of the first generation where, I started using a cell phone when I was 20. We're going to find out what the long-term effects are. So who knows? What if our legs fall off in a couple of months, There's a huge class action lawsuit against AT&T. You know, can you imagine even just all the wheelchairs trying to show up at the courthouse? Shit could get wild. Hope you enjoyed that video, and you can watch another. And you can watch this one, you can watch this one. Different options, different choices. Some guy just brings you one option, not this guy. Two options. Watch one, this one or this one.